All right, greetings once again, fellow traders. This is Michael Storm, also known as Robinhood. Today is March 4th, and it's a Monday, and it's after the New York close. We're going into Asia, perhaps, I guess we're about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And I figured I would take a little bit of time, go over a couple of charts with you guys. I wanted to do this on Saturday, but for whatever reason, I just didn't do it. I'm not sure. Maybe I valued my Saturday. It could be, but it's fine that I didn't do it over the weekend. And today is Monday. We have one day out of the way, which is probably kind of good, actually. So what I'd like to do is go over a couple of ideas with you, and you may agree, you might not agree. That's fine by me. That's no problem. So if you disagree, feel free to take the other side. That would be okay. So, looking at US dollar Japan daily, it's my humble opinion right now that we are entering a sell area. And why would I think that? Well, first off, when I look at the fib level, okay, if I draw my fib from the swing high to the swing low, I see that, on a trade scoring system basis, okay, we are up against a 786 fib. So that checks off one box for me. Now, I don't know. Some people might not like that. They may say, that's nothing. Don't really care about that. But, personally, I like to check off as many boxes as I could possibly get on a trade scoring basis. So being up here at the top of an SSI channel, I do like that. That would tick off another box. So why don't we do this? We got the 786 fib, check. We've got the SSI channel top right there, check. We also have a trend line. If we were going to look at a trend line from a bunch of recent highs, so that would also give another check for me. Okay, and if I'm going to keep on adding things up, I would also look at this and say, wow, that used to be really good support. Then I would look over here and say, wow, that also looks like it was pretty good support. And even there, so, about 6 times I've got a decent level of support. And then over here, I have a couple of places where, that actually became resistance. So support, once broken, tends to become resistive. At least most people think that way. I guess maybe not everybody, but I do. I think that way. I think that if support has been broken, that any return to that, will tend to become somewhat resistive. That looks like that was a tough area, right? And it looks resistive, doesn't it? Okay, so moving along, right there, that looks like it was very resistive at one point. This looks like it was pretty resistive too. Okay, all I have to do is look to the left to see the area, and to me this looks incredibly resistive. So if we are to dive, which is my direction, okay, I've shorted it, so I'm looking for a dive, okay, I would think that if we pull back down here, that should probably be supportive. And on my checkmark system, right, what do the stochastics say? Well, when stochastics are really high, I never actually feel like buying them. Now, other people may disagree, and that's fine by me. But when I see stochastics really, really up like this, I find it very difficult, personally, just me. I find it very hard to buy. But when they're down here, like that, or that, or that, I like to buy. So if they could come down, maybe 5, 10 days, who knows. If you can get down here, maybe get down here, that would be nice. I would like that then. I'd be interested in buying then, but I'm not interested in buying now. Can you read that chart? I hope so. I certainly did mess it up, didn't I? Well, I'm sorry. Right over here, this is the point I'm hoping that we're going to be able to go to, and right over here. So also, when I look at the trend line that I've drawn in, whenever stochastics are really high like this one here, I notice that we can have a multitude of days where we pull back and make a nice low. Over here, we were lofty, but we only pulled back for 2 days. Over here, we were pretty lofty, but it was only a day and a half. Over here, we were pretty lofty, but again, only a 1-day fall. So, it's a little bit tricky. You could get a 1 day fall, or my goodness, you could get 5 days or 4 days. And how am I supposed to know? I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything. I just, I just have a plan and I know what to do in case I'm wrong. So if this was to actually break out and go above all of this right here and screw me over, okay, let's say that it did that and it just kind of screwed me over and shafted me with a bunch of losses, what would I personally want to do to get out of it? Well, I would look for the next area. So if it comes up here and we start to hit into an 886 fib, just me, but I would really think that stochastics would probably look something like this. They would be outrageously peaking, and I would still be waiting for them to fall over time. So if I'm wrong and prices come up, let's say, over here into this really, really high area where we can look backwards, right, and see that and that and that as very troublesome locations to go above. It doesn't seem like it should. So if we come up here and hit this area and get a nice sell bar, I might take it short and try and work my way out. Now, under my damage control, hedging and washing principles, if you've ever seen that video, if you haven't, I really recommend you go see it. I mean, that's actually pretty good. There is a way that I can work this trade out in time. It'll have to be done on shorter time frames, like say 5 minutes or 15 minutes. I would need to see some pretty good popping action, some really decent sells. I would get involved and I would ride it back down, and it might not go very far. Maybe it'll only go 10 pips or something like that. And then I would have to reach into these losing trades over here and wash away a micro lot at a time. Now, a lot of people hate that idea. They say, that sucks. I don't want to do that. And I can understand, if you don't want to do that, that's perfectly your call. Everybody's a big trader and does it however they see fit. But me, I don't have a qualm with this. I don't have a real problem with this. I can reach in here and wash this, 20 times and get out of a bad trade if I get stuck in a really bad trade. But I don't know yet, see, because it hasn't developed yet is the whole situation. Now it may develop. It may come up here and really hurt me. It may come up here and just absolutely be creaming me. But the only thing is I've only got 2 bullets on, okay? And with my bullet system, thinking about, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 10 if I have to, I know that I can eventually get out no matter what in time, even if I'm temporarily wrong. But that's not to say that I wouldn't get squeezed, okay? It would hurt and it would squeeze me. Now, that being the case, you might remember that a whole bunch of days back, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, my last video, I'm pretty sure, we had talked about a short on the SEK. And if you look daily, you can see we were still trending much higher, and I have been short this entire time. Absolutely every bit of it. And working it, and it took a tremendous amount of time for me to finally get out of this trade. Did I enjoy it? No, not really. Actually, I didn't enjoy it. I'm just going to be honest with you and let you know that I did not enjoy the trade. I was hoping we were going to make it here, but sadly, it never happened. Okay, and so here's me shorting, right? Shorting, and you already know it because you've already seen my Twitter and you've already seen the video. And so this is me. I'm shorting the living blazes out of it, and I'm into it for 8 bullets short. And I had to work it and work it and work it more and more and more. But eventually, I got out, and it's all gone. But it wasn't a fun trade. I'm just going to let you know that not every day is an easy peasy day at the office. All right. Not every day is just a walk in the park. So the other trade that actually did work out fairly well, it wasn't the SEK, but the NOK. We did take care of that one eventually, and that one took a long time as well. We were shorting somewhere up in here. Don't really remember exactly where I started, but somewhere between these two arrows that you see on screen. I got short, and I got short like 8 of them, okay? And I was looking for there, and wow, I finally got it. So when that happened, I was gone. Just telling you flat out, empty, goodbye, see ya. Okay, so not every day is like awesome, and you know this was literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Dear God, this was like almost 3 weeks. Okay, so enough of that. Enough of the past. It wasn't fun. I'm sorry if you didn't enjoy it either, but that's the breaks. Things happen like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of other charts and see if we can find some decent, reasonable setups for the week. All right, so moving along, I've changed charts, and right now I'm taking a look at the pound dollar. If you remember the last time the pound got way, way high, we nailed a whole bunch of stop loss orders that were in the market pretty much there. Actually, I'm sorry, those 2 locations right there, and also over here and over here. So pound was kind of wild, it went hog wild, and then we dropped for, I think, about 3 weeks. So it kind of looks to me very similar to that, and I'm not sure that we're going to drop for 3 weeks. I would love it if it would fall for 3 weeks, but I don't think so. Right now, it seems sentiment is extremely strong, very, very bullish on the pound, and I was short up definitely from, well, at least from here, at least, okay, right where we are, because I know I have some that's a little bit underwater. I also have some pound shorts up in here and way up in here and also up here. So I have a tremendous amount of pound shorts, and I like it with the way that the daily is setting up, and we have another daily sell bar, and then there's one more bar after it. I think that we should be able to pull down here to this little spot that used to be resistive, right there and right there. Hopefully you can see this. The stochastics are extremely high. They're very lofty. They're crossed over. They're pointed downward. And maybe we get lucky, and maybe the market will continue to fall. Now, if it does, and it falls over here, there is a possibility of a bounce. Maybe we could receive a bounce from that point, and that we would come up and hit, into what right now is currently looking like support. Maybe if we fall down here and we bounce up, that this support that it looks like right now will hopefully become resistive, and maybe we can see another really good move down. There is a 200 MA right about there, and over time, this is going to flatline. Okay, this will go pretty much just like that, and this 55 is going to be coming up. So it won't take too many days, maybe I don't know, 5 or 6 days, something like that. We should be up in this price point, this vicinity, and if those two moving averages happen to get married to each other, if they get married, if they do, and price happens to hit it at that time, it's going to be pretty supportive, okay, especially if the stochastics are looking all the way down here when it happens. But we don't know yet, you see, because it hasn't happened yet. I'm simply thinking and extrapolating this out into the future. So I'm sticking with my pound shorts, and I've got other shorts as well on other pairs too. And moving along, you can see US-Canada had a day where one day ate up 10. 10 whole days of movement were eaten in one. That's pretty unusual. And actually, the way we were trading this in my trade room, we had this thing short quite a while back. We were looking for a 500-ish pip fall when prices were way up here. We talked about a 500 pip fall. We talked about being long down here, and we did get long. Bailed out over here. We got long over here, and we bailed out here. And we have actually been looking at it long for a bunch of days, but magically I did not capture this move. Okay. Let me tighten this up a little bit. On this day over here, not the day of the news, but the day right before it, it had a doji bar, and it was a very short body with kind of short legs on the doji. And for whatever reason, I don't know what it was exactly, but I just got turned off to the trade idea myself, and I didn't long it. And the price went ballistic, and I completely missed this giant move. I missed the whole thing. Yes. So, you know, stuff happens, and that's the way it works. I can't capture them all. But right now, I really like it as a short. I don't think this is much of a long pattern right here, personally, to me. You know, it may just be me. But I do really think it's a shorting pattern. I'll show you one that's very similar to this in just a minute. And actually called it out to my roommates the other day, and I said, you know, this is not a long pattern. This is a short pattern. Now I'll show you the pattern in just a minute. So here we are. I don't like this at all. The way this looks to me, it looks like a nice ascending pattern to get short by, not to be long. So I am short, and you know, I think this looks like it's topping, and you know, this kind of looks toppy over here, and maybe it'll bounce a little bit and come up this way. But I'd really like to see this break down. And in my humble opinion, and you know, guys, again, I might be wrong. Okay, I'm wrong a lot. I really am. I'm not a trading god, and you know, I never claimed to be. So I could very well be wrong. But when I look at the charts, to me, it seems to make sense that this over here was resistive about 4 times, and this over here was resistive twice. And this over here tried really hard to be resistive 2 times. And then all of a sudden, it became support right there on that hourly move when this happened. So it's my humble opinion that potentially, maybe, I don't know, over days, we could fall. And that this area that used to be incredibly resistive should become supportive. You can also notice that you've got a rising 100, and that rising 100 is going to come in here about like that, no matter what. There's no way that you can stop it. Even if it falls, it won't be stopped. And the 200 as well is going to slowly rise like this, and there's nothing in the world that you can do to stop it. Even if it falls and tanks all the way down here, it still isn't going to stop this pattern from happening. All right, so I do think that that's where we're heading, but I could be wrong, so I have to have a plan, right? Okay, now I promised to show you a chart that looked very similar to that, so let me just find it and get it up. All right, there we go. So what we have right now is we've got the New Zealand Canada up, and this was the other day in my trade room. We were looking at this pattern right over here, and somewhere, I'm trying to remember where it was. So, you know, it might have been here, but I think it was actually more like this bar here or this bar here, that we saw the thing taking off like crazy. And I said to everyone, I said, you know, that's really not a long pattern, and that this was more likely to go short than it was to go long. And over time, you know, this formed. We got a big sell bar, and then we started to notice this over here and talked about it again and said, nah, this is going to break. You know, it's really going to break down. And but you know, of course, I didn't know how far. You know, you never really know exactly how far. And that was a heck of a drop, I have to admit. I mean, that was beautiful. It tried to pop, and then it went down even more. So once again, I also believe that we're in right now the very same type of a thing, where this is not a long pattern. It's not. It's already gone long, but it's turning, it's running out of steam, and it should eventually roll back down to something that more manageable, something that makes sense, like over here. Okay, that just seems to make sense to me. Okay, New Zealand, Canada. And you'll also notice this very same pattern if you look at New Zealand Swissy, see the hourly chart, or if you were to look at the odd Swiss, this hourly chart up here, or the odd Canada over here, and which is also repeating right now. Okay, so moving along, we could look at a few more charts really quickly, and let's see, I can't go back that far, so maybe I'll take this one and just kind of cruise along until I find something that really catches my eye. Oops. I'm having a little trouble moving. Oh, it's not really moving. I gotta pause it. All right, so as I'm moving sideways on my charts, I just came across this Euro Japan right here. And I figured I'd show this to you. We were short in our trade room the other day when we were way up high like this. And I was calling out to my roomies that, we should receive something like, approximately 100-ish pip fall, maybe a little bit more. And we started to talk about the support level of 126.25, 126.30. And it just appeared that way on the daily chart that we might make it potentially to that level. And this morning, when we saw this over here, and we saw the buy signal that started to kick in on the hourly, I'm going to have to admit that I did close. Okay, I did. I closed a bunch of shorts right there. And when it popped, I was re-looking at it right around here and put a short on. And when the Euro Japan fell towards the low of the day, and it just seemed like we weren't quite going to make it, because I'm keeping my finger on the pulse of the market, and it was really buried. The stochastics were way down here, and it just didn't look like it was going to make it. For some reason, I just gave up. I gave up hope that we were going to actually hit 126.25 or 126.30, and I just yanked the whole darn trade off. I closed out every bit of it. And, in hindsight, that was a good thing to do. But at the time, I didn't know that was going to happen. It's weird, but sometimes you get out of a trade and you'll regret it a little bit, like you'll pull the trade off the table only to watch the market makers slam it straight down to your target and just spit in your face, wave goodbye to you. And you're like, ouch, why did I leave? I don't know if you're like that, but I have that myself. I have that problem myself where I get frustrated sometimes by taking a trade off, and then I just watch the thing go, and I'm like, well, why did I do that? I could have had 25 more pips. And, half the time I'll regret the thing, and the other half the time I don't regret the thing. So I don't know what to say, but that's just a little trader's problem, I guess. That's pretty common, I think. Pretty common and standard with most everybody. So next chart, we'll look at the pound Japan. I am currently short a couple of bullets on pound Japan, and I like this myself. I do, to the short side. And I'm hoping that I will be correct. I realize that I might not be, correct, okay? And this was the terrible flash crash area over here. Before that flash crash happened, I was actually pointing it out. I think it was in, I'm pretty sure it was somewhere inside of this bar, this big red bar you see over here. And me and my roomies were long, right? Oops. Somewhere around here, towards the bottom especially, we were starting to scoop up a whole bunch of pieces. I really can't remember how many I hit. It's been a long time now since that occurred, and I don't remember how many I got long. But I can tell you that move right there was violent. Oh, and it was awful, because it was like 500 pips south, and a lot of people, I don't know why it is, but for some reason, some traders, they just really love trading too big. I don't get it myself. I've been preaching trade small, gosh, as long as I can remember. I literally don't think I've ever not preached trade small. But for some reason, a lot of traders, they just want to get paid. They just want to get paid a lot of money really fast. And so they'll tend to, they'll see something dropping like this and they'll just load up and load up and load up and load up until it just kills them. And then they can't even take it because it went 500 pips and it's all over. And then they blow out and then they're like, ouch. And then they unfortunately have to sit there and watch this for, multiple weeks. But when this whole thing was happening way down here in this bar, I was telling my roomies, guys, when this thing gets going, it's just going to go for weeks. It's going to be like 2, 3, 5? I don't know. I told him, I said, I don't know. But most likely 2 or 3 at the very minimum. And who knows, maybe we could get 5, right? And so here we are all these weeks later, and we see this powerful move and this amazing pullback right here. And then you have this incredible move to the up, up, up again. You don't think it's a little bit overdone? You don't think so? Well, let me just say this. The last time that pound was this optimistic, what happened? Oh, now I remember. Yeah, thank you. Hey, thanks for reminding me about that. That's cool. You know, the last time the pound was this optimistic, what happened? Okay, now I see where we're going with this thing. Yeah, that strikes a bell. The last time the pound was this optimistic, what happened? Dear God. Out of control. Okay. So where are we right now? I think it's a little bit overdone. Okay? I really think so. I really think so. This is nutty. You're getting a daily sell, by the way. You've got a long-legged doji right in here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a long-legged doji right there. And there's the narrow body with the wicks going up and down. There's another wick right there. Looks like it might have been a stop run. I'm not sure. You know, it's like an inverted hammer type thing or a pin bar, whatever you want to call it. And then you're getting another daily sell. So, you know, it's just my humble opinion that currently the stochastics are too stinking high, and you know, you may not agree, and that's fine by me. I don't care. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but you know, I think when stochastics get like this, you know, they tend to cross over, and then you know they tend to fall for days, and then something happens, you know, way down here, way down in the low. So how low are we gonna go? I don't have a clue. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you. Wouldn't that be great if I was a soothsayer? I mean, that would be wonderful. You know, I like that idea. Robin Hood the soothsayer. Yeah, that would be really nice. But you know, I don't have a familiar spirit, and truthfully, I don't want one, and so I don't know the answer to that question. How low are we gonna go? I got no idea. But this would be really nice. I don't know about you, but I mean, I like it. I like those price points there. I like the wicks. They look like they're supportive. I like that. Heck, I even like you know, the 200 MA. So if it could fall for a couple more days, I think I'd be happy. All right, maybe you wouldn't be. I don't know. So moving along, let's go look at a couple of other pairs. All right. So we have Swiss yen, which is currently extremely high, banging into the 200 MA, hitting over here. Looks like it might want to pull back, doesn't it? Seems like it wants to. You know, it has a nice little rounded bottom there. You've got a lot of support in here in the lows. And you never know. Swiss yen may pull back all the way down here. It's possible. I like the way it looks. CAD yen. This actually looked like a great sell the other day when we were up really, really high. And I was looking at the channel and thinking, wow, it would come back down into the lows again. And there it did. And now that we're in this area, to me, you know, just me personally, I think it's kind of looking like some support. And it seems like it ought to bounce a little bit. How high? Well, I don't really know. But, you know, if I have to look at the charts and say where I would like to see it go to, you know, it would be pretty cool if we could get a price that would move maybe up here into this, or maybe even up there, or maybe we get really lucky, right? You never know, right? I mean, sometimes there's always hope. There's always hope in prayer, right? And some of you people are going to mock me possibly for this. I don't know. It might be, because I do have some trolls even on YouTube. You'll get your trolls, and they'll be like, you know, blasting me. But I say there's always hope in prayer. Now, if you don't want to have hope, that's fine. And if you don't want to pray for something to work out for yourself, That's fine. Leave the hope and prayer to me. Okay? Some of you may mock it and say, oh, hope and prayer has no part in trading. Who are you kidding? You telling me you've never been long or short and gotten squeezed and you weren't hoping and praying it would come back? Please, don't accuse me of something that you do. Because you have. There's been times that you were long or short. You were wrong. You were temporarily wrong. You added. You doubled up. You tripled up. You were just waiting and waiting and trying to get yourself out. And, there was hope and there was prayer. And if you're not a praying guy, that's fine, then you were a hopeful guy. So currently, I'm long. And I'm hopeful that prices might potentially come up that high. Maybe prices might come up that high. Now, if that happens, I can just tell you that it's going to be a long ride, right? It's going to be like this, and it's going to be a long, long time before we get there. But I do like CAD Japan currently on the long side. All right, moving along. The New Zealand yen and the odd yen, I don't really see anything with them myself that looks very attractive on daily or any other time frames. So I'm currently not interested myself. I just don't want to. All right. Now, you might notice that I had this thing labeled a buy. And if you look here at Euro Pound and you look at the monthly, we are down to some pretty decent support. And the weekly is at some pretty good support. I mean, we haven't been here for about 2 years. All right. Since we've had this price like this, it's been about 2 years. And to me, it just looks like a long. I mean, the stochastics are buried and they're crossing to the other side. And I got a little bit of a daily buy signal here and one more bar of follow through. This little bar came down and hit the 4-hour support level. And it looked like it was pretty good. And I think it has potential to bounce. And if I look at the 4-hour bounce zone, to me, it seems like this would be an okay area to reach. I don't know. Maybe it will reach it. Maybe it won't. But personally, in my accounts, I am long. And I'm hopeful that we reach up into the 86.70s. I would like that myself. Okay? Maybe it's just me. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep on cranking sideways. This one over here is Pound Swissy. We were brutally short in my trade room several days ago, actually, and we have come down, rocked down, hit incredible, awesome targets. I'm already gone. I don't have any left. But I do think it's potentially going to go lower, but I'm not short right now. Euro Canada. We were all long the blazes out of it a multitude of days ago. Right down here where I'm hovering my cursor, we got mega long, like really, really maximum bullet size long right there, okay? And in my room, we'd actually talked about how we would probably receive a one-day buy signal, that there would most likely be a one-day pause right after that, and that on the third day, it would blast up like mad and go through that high, that one, and this one over here, and hit all 3 targets in 3 days. So anyway, I just want you to know why I'm saying this. My roomies know, listen, guys, I'm not, to the YouTube trolls out there that think, oh, Robinhood, you're just a great big liar. Yeah, no. I've got 80 people in my room, okay? 80 people in my trade room. They watch these videos. They know what I say every single morning. You think I'm going to lie on YouTube so that I can have 80 people that are my friends actually watch me lie? No, not one bit. The people that are with me know. On that day, we longed the blazes out of it. Said that it would go up one day, one more would be a pause, and the third day would rock the heavens open. Well, why do I say that? I just want to show you how wrong I am. Okay? Very simple. I was wrong. We got long the blazes out of it. It shot up for 2 days, and then it stunk. And it went back down, and we longed it again. Down here, way down, like really, really far down, right there. And only today did it finally go up and hit all of our targets. and we are so empty it isn't even funny. And at this point, I'm just waiting to see if we can get a really nice pullback before going higher. All right, that's my thought. I still love Euro Canada. I love to buy it. I don't know why. I just get stuck on it. Who knows? I just get stuck on something. I keep buying it. I keep buying it. It keeps paying me, and I almost seems like I never want to. It's almost like I never want to stop buying it. I don't know. All right. Anyway, so moving along, I have a mess. What is that? I have this next chart over here, which is Pound Canada. And, it's kind of funny. The other day, I saw somebody on, it was YouTube. Yeah, it was actually, 3 weeks ago, maybe. All right. So what I did is I just captured a screenshot of this just so I can make it really, really visible to see. Now, I kind of forget. I really, I trade so much that I suffer from short-term memory loss, maybe. And I kind of forget. I can't remember where this person said it, but somebody that was watching this on YouTube, it was either up here where I was short for 5 days before I even got the fall. Okay. And then I had to wait 7 more days for it to fall down. So it was like a total of 12 days that we were in this thing. It was extremely frustrating. Why can't I move my arrow? That's frustrating. So it was either that comment or maybe it was somewhere down here in the lows where, we ended up buying it and taking it long. Maybe it was here, maybe it was there, but I do think it was this short over here is probably the comment that was made. I think someone said to me something like, good luck in your trading strategy or whatever. And I'm like, wow, that's really what a moron is all I could think. Because, what about that do you not like? I mean, what about, great big pin bars at stupid highs do you not like? And, what about like holding on to something until it falls there? Do you not like? It might have taken 12 days, but my God, it paid out like 500 pips. And, so some people will look at this right here, right now and say, oh, no, I can't short that. It's too bullish. It's too bullish. And I'd be saying, okay, well, like, what does it have to do in order for you to get short? Like, this brings me to a really good point. What do some traders have to see before they ever get short? So you don't like to sell highs and mix it with patience and wait for the world to come back to sanity? You don't like stuff like that? Because, to me, I mean, I like that personally. I like to short things that are really high and really out of control. And I like to mix with patience because the market can stay very irrational longer than you or me can stay solvent. So what is the problem really with trading small? So that you can stay solvent. You really need to go that big? I mean, it's that important to you to be a trading god and to prove how good you are and how awesome you are to yourself and to your wife and to the world. And you want to go so big and use a stop loss so that you can prove how great you are. Wow. Let me know how that's working out for you. I don't like that idea. I like to trade small so that if this pops up here and takes out that high, I could add to it. All right? And I like to mix with patience and wait for a really good fall. But, again, that's just me. And a lot of people out there, I guess they really like to trade different than me. So, just like I said at the beginning, you may not agree. That's fine by me. Take the other side then. So over here, Pound New Zealand, we've been short since the top. We've been waiting for it to fall, and it has for a couple of days. But if you notice, you've got this support like right here. And it's kind of being a little pain in the bagunga. Pain in the buttocks. As it's holding right there at that support level. And, you know, hey, support is support until it breaks, right? I mean, that's the way it is. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm trying to crank along, and I'm getting out of the daily chart and going over to the 4-hour chart, so maybe there's a good chance that you can see it now. But to me, you know, there's a 200 MA right underneath this on a daily chart. This is a 4-hour, please notice. But on a daily chart, there's a 200 MA right there. And that thing just seems to be holding it. Now, support is support until it breaks. So potentially, you know, this could rock up again, come up nice and high. Who knows? Maybe it'll even reach that high, right? There's always hope, always prayer. And if it does reach that high, wouldn't that be kind of great if it put in, you know, like, let's say, oh, I don't know, maybe a sell bar right there. Some people seem to not be able to recognize what a sell bar is, but, you know, I look at places where I like price, I would like price to go, and I think about it, and I'm like, well, gee, you know, gee golly, gee whiz, gee willikers. I mean, you know, if price could get up here and potentially do a sell bar up in this area, it kind of turned me on a little bit. I don't know about you, but I think I'd get excited over that, you know? And then I'd like to see a fall. And you know what I'd like to see other than just a fall? I'd like to see something just a wee bit tiny more, you know? Yeah, I'd like to see it just get downright mean and dirty and rotten and just tank. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see it tank right through that, hit that 200 MA on the daily chart. Remember, we talked about a 200 MA right over here. And wouldn't that be really cool if this happened? I mean, I'm just thinking. I don't know about you. Maybe you're not wishful thinking. Maybe you don't daydream about the things that you want in this world. But, you know, I got some things I want. You know what? And it takes money to buy it. So, I'm daydreaming right now, and boy, that would really, oh man, that would just be so cool. And what if off of that 200 MA, it popped, right? And then price rolled over and went splat right down here. Now, would any of that do anything for you? I mean, maybe none of this turns you on. That could be, you know, it's possible. I have no idea where you are. But I'm just telling you what I would love to see. Now, am I going to get what I want? I mean, is this entire scenario right here going to actually work out for me? And what is my answer to that? I don't have a darn clue. I just hope so. I think so. I hope so. I want it to be so. And if I see it, I'm going to try and help it. You know? I'll do whatever I can to try and help it along. You may not agree, and that's fine by me. Take the other side. So, looking along, we've got Euro Australia brutally down. I was short, but I am gone. We are at support right now on the 4-hour charts. Pound Australia, also like that one short. You know, I don't know what to say. You know, I mean, I'm certainly talking about a lot of pound pairs right now, and you know, maybe some of you guys are like, gee, what a jerk. That's the only thing you can talk about, huh? Well, yeah, I mean, right now it seems like the whole world is completely hot for pound. And I'm just trying to remember the last time that pound got this high. And the last time pound got that high. And the last time, oh, that's now. I'm sorry. But, you know, what happened the last time that pound got that high? Oh, my. Oh, goodness. That was quite a fall, wasn't it? So what were people thinking up here in these highs? What were they thinking? What madness had overcome them? And, you know, did they suffer from short-term memory loss? You know, did they have issues and they're like, oh my goodness, you know? And look, don't you know that somebody shorted it on that daily sell bar? And when it went up 3 days later and broke the high, it kicked his butt and stopped him out? Who was that? That's the trader that trades too big. Somebody saw that pin and said, whoa, ho, ho, Nelly. And then they saw that bar right there, that little tiny red one, and said, oh my God, we got it. It's going to go. And then it went up, splatted them, gave them their nice fat stop loss that they wanted. They got it all right. Okay, they got their stop loss. Let's admit facts. Does this hide? Is this hiding? Is this lying? Bull crap. Go kid your mother. That ain't lying. Okay, somebody was stopped out here, only to fall to incredible depths. Wow. That was some hot stuff. And so you're looking at this chart right now and thinking, it's too bullish. There's no way I'm going to short it right now. And to which I say, okay, but what happens if, 2 weeks from now, you're down here? Is that when you're going to want to short it? I mean, is that the reality of how things work for you? Like, I can't short it until it comes way down here. Good luck with that one. I mean, by the time prices get down here 2 weeks from now, you know what the stochastic is going to look like? We're going to be down here like this. And you're going to be shorting it when prices are down here? My God. You kind of need a psychiatrist. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that's offensive. I apologize, but I just disagree. Whew, how to win friends and influence people. That's it. Robinhood writing a new book. How to win friends and influence people. That's, oh, jeez. Okay. So anyway, what other pair should we look at? We'll go ahead and look at one more thing here before we call it a day. And I don't know. I hope this is helpful to you. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Maybe some of you guys are like, this is insane. I don't agree with you. That's fine. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Just do whatever you want. Be your own man. Trade your own way. Now, last week, actually before that even, well, I did have this one roomie that was in my room that, unfortunately, man didn't work out too great as a friend. I thought he was going to be, but I don't know. I guess he lied to me. I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't really tell. I don't really know who to believe anymore half the time. It seems like everybody's got an agenda. It seems like everybody's a bunch of liars. And so I don't know. I can't tell if other people are lying to me or if this guy lied to me. I don't know. I don't have a clue. But there was a roomie in our room that was fairly accurate with his gold calls. I mean, he was pretty stinking accurate, to be honest. I mean, not every trade that he had was accurate, but his gold calls were pretty darn good. And I was short. Okay? I was short gold. And it was hurting me. And I was wrong. And I was really freaking out. And I had a target for my short of 12.90. And I called this target to my roomies for days and days on end. And you know what? We never hit 12.90. And I'm sitting there short. And he's telling me he's long. And that it's going to go to the moon. And I'm like, oh, crap. I certainly don't want to be on the wrong side of this guy. Because he's really good. And, at least I thought. And his gold calls were really good. And so I'm thinking, oh man, I'm on the wrong side of this thing. I'm going to get my butt kicked. And so I started hedging. I started to buy up little tiny pieces of gold as it fell. And here I am, honest to God, how many days is this now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever it is. 10 or 11 days later. I'm crying, okay? I'm crying a river. Why? Because I'm long a whole bunch of stinking micro lots of gold, and I'm stupid wrong. I took somebody else's call, idea, whatever, and I went against my own thought process. And don't think that you're like, don't think that you're immune to it and that it doesn't affect you, okay? Because I'm 19 years trading, and it still affects me, And when somebody's right a whole bunch of times and I see it over and over and over and over again, and then I start to get myself squeezed. And by the way, I was negative like $300-400 when we were up here. I was down like probably close to $400 of losses when we were up here. So I start hedging, and then it rips my target open. It goes like way under my target and goes even lower. And I'm just like, oh man, What can I say? What can I say? What can I do? I'm screwed. And that's all there is to it. So I find myself, unfortunately, tragically long gold in this account and my other accounts. I've got, let's see here, I've got one account that has 14 micro lots, and I got another, how much is in that one right there? Shoot. Is it XAG? Oh shit. 17. Darn it. I got 14 microlots and I got 17 microlots. And you put them together and that's 30 whatever microlots. And that's a bummer. It's a bummer. I'm not right now. I'm temporarily wrong. Okay? But, you know, even though I'm temporarily wrong, and this looks like a 1 and that looks like a 2. Okay? And this looks like a 3. Wave 3. My thoughts are, well, hey, you know, what comes after a wave 3? I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's a wave 4. So if we were to get a wave 4, you know, what would I see? I'd probably see like a left shoulder here. Probably see like a head right there. Maybe I'll see like a right shoulder over here, you know? And then I'll have a chance to get out. And hopefully, if that occurs, and I can get price somewhere up near 13.16, I'm going to get the heck out. I'm going to flip short again. And then I'd love to see price go like this, and then like that. Okay? Because there is a bear, all right? There's a bearish harmonic on this thing, and it's calling for a B target. But the reality is that I just don't agree, okay? And the reason I don't agree with the B target is because of the 200 MA. It's in the way. And how the heck are you going to go through it? And you're actually going to go through the 200 and make it to B? I don't know. I don't know. It just seems too bullish to me. It really does. It seems too bullish. We're coming out of 5 years of sideways. I just don't really see it. But you never know. Maybe I'll be wrong, and maybe gold will come all the way down here. And maybe it'll do this and then bounce like crazy. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know, guys. I don't know. So anyway, I'm long, and I'm currently temporarily wrong. How's that? So I hope you all have a really great trading week. I want to say thank you for watching. It is Monday, and you know, the day is really going to shape up tonight. I mean, we are going into Asia session right now, and then we're going to go into London, and the whole week is going to get real hot. So, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, boom, boom, boom. You're going to have some rocking times out there. Seriously. So anyway, I hope my little bit of analysis for whatever it was worth. Now, this is not a full-blown top-down analysis. Okay, this is not what we do every day. By the way, in our live trade room, we look much more in depth at certain particular key levels. We'll run our fibs and all kinds of different things. This is very general and very loose. You know, for the YouTube community, I'm sorry, I just got to keep it loose, man. That's it. So, you know, we don't look exhaustively at every single thing. I'm just trying to give you general stuff. I don't have the time to do really in-depth type of thing. All right, so hope it was helpful. Have a great trading week. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And listen, hey, if you don't like the video, go for it. Give me a thumbs down. And if you're going to give me a thumbs down, do me a favor. Shoot me a, what do you call it? Like a message, right? And tell me why. You know, just be honest. I mean, you know, you can say whatever. Robinhood, you suck. Robinhood, you know, whatever. But try and make it maybe more constructive criticism instead of just flat out like trolley type comments, you know? Instead of just being like a mean, rotten idiot about something, you know, how about just saying, okay, well, you know, you suck and I don't agree, but thanks for putting it out anyway. And, you know, I appreciate your ideas, whatever. And then you go ahead and look back a week later and see how right I am or how wrong I am. How's that? Because I'm pretty good at admitting when I'm wrong. How about you? Are you good at admitting when you're wrong? Everybody should be. So, all right. Well, I'll see you next time. Maybe at the end of the week. Maybe Friday. All right. Ciao for now.